U.S. Attorney Jim Letten says the New Orleans area has become a corruption battleground.
Letten's office is certainly leading the way in that fight. Recently, we spent more than 30 minutes with Letten, getting a rare chance to spend that much time with him to discuss the fight on corruption and a fight to fix his heart. Tonight, we go one-on-one with Jim Letten.
Thank you. Thank you.
The list of indictments produced by his office over the past few years shows Jim Letten has one speed.
I don't like to slow down. I don't like to relax.
But 3 months ago, Letten didn't have to slow down. He had to stop.
So I felt fine. I felt great.
He felt fine, but something wasn't right with his heart. It wasn't sudden or anything. Doctors had been tracking it every 6 months. And in February, Letten went in for a scheduled surgery to replace a defective aortic valve.
I got 3 doctors who I'm indebted to for the rest of my life, who saved my life.
The doctors, all from Ochsner, Gene Perino, Chris White, and Freddie Abasamra. They're Letten's heroes, diagnosing a problem that could have gone undetected for a long time.
I feel tremendous.
Letten's been back at work full-time for a while, but don't think his office slowed down when the U.S. Attorney had to stop.
I don't believe my absence from the office made a hill of beans difference here.
And while Letten is the face of the U.S. Attorney's office, he credits his staff for the indictments, a long list of public officials in the last 10 years.
We're probably very close to 250.
A lengthy list of indictments in the last decade. Letten says most of that work starts with the local FBI office.
It's busy because I know this. The FBI's public corruption program here, their squad, their program, is the second largest program of its kind in the country, second only to New Jersey, when in fact the office here is maybe the 20th largest. So
is Louisiana that corrupt of a state? Is it just the amount of resources, or is it just that this happens to come out here and it doesn't come out in other places sometimes?
No, I think it's a combination of factors. First of all, I say this every chance I get. I don't believe that New Orleans or the region or Louisiana is the most corrupt place in the country by any means. I think when you look at places like Chicago and that in the region up there, or New Jersey, or any number of other areas that I think have been beset by corruption, I think it's impossible to quantitatively compare them.
The list of indictments in Louisiana runs far and wide. Oliver Thomas, Derek Shepard, Eddie Price, Bill Hubbard, Greg Mefford, Pampy Barre, Sean Hunter, Judge Wayne Cressup, members of the Jefferson family, and many, many more. Letten couldn't confirm any ongoing investigations, but it's not a secret his office is active in Jefferson, Plaquemines, and Orleans Parish still, to name a few.
Do you think the political landscape will be changed, or is changing here?
Yes. I believe the political landscape has changed drastically, and I think it's in the process of changing drastically. That doesn't mean it can't revert tomorrow if we relax. The changes, positive changes like this aren't permanent. Corruption is something that normally flows from arrogance and greed and abuse of power, and those things are going to be around as long as humans are around. I do believe that together, our office with our federal and in many cases local partners, and with the press corps and with our citizens, have begun to face down corruption and to make this a place that's becoming increasingly unfriendly towards and hostile to corruption.
Letten thinks the threat of his office and the FBI has made some people reconsider their choices.
I'll never be able to show you how many people perhaps didn't violate their oaths of office, didn't commit a corrupt act, didn't steal, didn't pay a kickback or demand it, because they've seen what's happened. But you have to believe it's happening.
Letten has received some criticism since he became U.S. Attorney in 2001. It's from some who think he targets African-American elected officials. Letten said it used to bother him, but not anymore.
It did, until it occurred to me that the people who are making those assertions are a tiny number, a tiny, tiny small core, who for the most part have very personal, self-centered agendas, who completely disregard the facts.
And Letten says the facts point to his office indicting people of all races.
Whether it's the St. John the Baptist cases, or the mayor of Mandeville, or any of the Jefferson Parish cases, the Jefferson Parish Courthouse case we did previously, and I can go chapter and verse through these types of cases and demonstrate for you and for the citizens, which we've done over and over again, that we have no agenda other than to do justice and protect our citizens.
Jim Letten has seen so much in his job, but he still gets surprised by who ends up in the courtroom.
I have a right, we all do, to trust the public officials who serve us. And we have a right also then to be disappointed when they let us down.
10 years as U.S. Attorney, he served under a Republican and Democratic president. Letten's 57 years old, has heard people ask, some urge, him to run for public office, but Letten says that's off the table.
For me, I have absolutely no intention of ever running for public office for a lot of reasons. But, you know, first of all, I mean, I have very few job skills, and sometimes I'm not even sure I can do this job real well. But also, I don't ever want anyone to think that we did what we did here, and we're doing what we do for any self-serving reason. This has become so important. This is so important to us, this mission, and so it's just not a place I think I'm ever going to go.
Letten says another thing he thinks has helped the fight on corruption is the zero-tolerance policy. He says his office doesn't consider such a thing as too small or too low level of corruption.
Does the man ever stop? That's
He
one
really
question.
he stopped like that time in February, and that was
Right.
hard for him. And you even talked to people in his office, and they said he was still on the phone. He came into the office earlier than he should have.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Do you get the sense that he has a hand in every big case that comes before him? Because it feels like he does.
Well, certainly. I mean, he'll be the first to tell you he's got a great staff around him who does a lot of the work, starting with Mann, who's right below him, and working on down. So he really credits his staff for everything. He's active in the office from people you talk to. He's there early. He's there late. He knows what's going on, but certainly he's not in every single detail of everything going on. That would almost be impossible. He's not Superman, but he's certainly involved in everything. But I guess he's Superman.
He could probably win public office.
He probably could win, but he says off the table.
Yeah, all right.